Right, guys, we get started. Reprogramming your mind for success. Very, very important that we get our mind right. It's probably the most important thing. And if your mind wasn't right about coming out here this evening, you wouldn't have came out. You would have stayed in the house. You wouldn't have had that motivation to come out and to build your business or help get the motivation that you normally receive here, or the training or the skill set or whatever the case may be. So very important to work on your mind every single day, and program it for success, and program it for the right things. Because you can program it anyway. Anybody ever hear the verb all brainwashed and forever? Ever hear that one? All brainwashed. But we are. But I think everybody's brainwashed. We're just brainwashed in different ways. And we were brainwashed before we joined Forever. We're just brainwashed in the wrong way. So you can be brainwashed or programmed anyway. Everybody's programmed or brainwashed in a certain way. What way do you want to be brainwashed? What way do you want to be programmed? Do you want to have a positive mindset, or do you want to be a miserable, complaining, whinging wreck for the rest of your life? It's up to you. So it is very important to be conscious of it, and conscious of the way you are programming your mind. Do you want to go over there, because you're probably going to miss everything over here, or even in there, yeah. Right. So same problem, same result. Yeah, we've seen. I think we've seen Eric Corey doing this in Manchester, but seen him doing it before, where you're typing something on the computer and you go to print it. You print a document or whatever, and you print it and you take it out of the printer, and you see a mistake. So you go over and you hit print again, and it comes out of the printer, and the same mistake is there. And you do it again, and it doesn't really make sense unless you go in and fix the problem. In other words, put the cursor where the mistake is, take it out, change it, and then hit print, and then the mistake is different. So that's the programming. That's the program there. Even though it's letters, there's programming behind that, but that's the program you're putting into that sheet of paper, that document. So it's madness not just hitting print, just hitting print, just hitting print, just turning up to your meeting, just making the phone call, just whatever, or doing the same things over and over and over again, and not having the programming right, because the result will always be the same. So if you have the same problem, the same result. If I do it long enough, the problem will disappear. It won't, because it's the programming that's wrong. Yes, if you do this long enough, of course you're going to pick up an odd customer here, you're going to pick up an odd distributor here or there, but you're never going to get any serious momentum if your programming is wrong. If we don't quit pressing print and wear the button out, press and print, that it'll all work out in the end. Yes, the numbers will add up, yeah, but who wants to bring 100,000 people before you get one person to say yes? Obviously, there's going to be a ratio. Get the programming right, and the ratio will improve. So we need to do things, right? So we won't find out that the programming is wrong. We won't find out that we're doing things wrong until we do it, because that's when you get mistakes. So it's very important to do it, learn from it, and then go over to the computer, correct those simple errors, and then do it again. Then hit print again. So it's like we often talk about, when you're doing a phone call, have a bit of pen and paper beside you, write down what they say, write down their responses, and then analyze it afterwards. And by their answers, you will know about the questions that you asked, and did you ask the right questions or the wrong questions. If you're getting certain types of answers, when you analyze it, well, you're asking the wrong questions, you're saying the wrong things, you're not sticking to a script, or whatever the case may be, right? So then if you do that and analyze it, right, I obviously said this, I better not say it again, and then you recorrect, delete, correct the simple errors, and then do it again. And by doing that process, and improving yourself all the time. If it's a phone call we're talking about, the phone call will become really, really good. But the problem with most of it is we don't do enough of the doing it. This doesn't even happen at all. So it's very important to learn from mistakes we don't make because we're not actually doing it. And we can't get to this process at all. We don't get better. We don't improve. This is why I always talk about sit down and do your phone calls and do them one after the other. Get into a rhythm, analyze them, learn from them. And to the errors in your thinking. Now, you talk about it all the time. What are we thinking about? We're creating our life by thinking, if you guests lined up for tonight and you're sort of thinking, sure, he probably won't turn up anyway. What do you think is going to happen? He's not going to turn up. There's a high chance that he won't turn up. So you got to change the thinking into a positive. Now, I'm not saying every year he's going to turn up, he's going to turn up, he's going to turn up, he'll definitely turn up. But guess what? It's going to increase the chances a lot because of the energy you put out there. And that goes for everything. 4CCs is hard. Nobody's going to turn up to my launch. Nobody's going to give me a launch. Nobody's going to do this. Nobody's going to do that. What are you thinking about? So what are you creating? Whereas you have this super positive attitude with everybody, put it out there that everybody, there's constantly people looking to join my business. There's people out there wanting an opportunity, and I have got it to give them. There's people out there constantly searching, going to bed, this is the truth, going to bed every single night, praying for somebody to contact them with an opportunity to earn money, take them out of that hole. And you have that attitude, and you're putting that out to the universe, guess what? Those people will be drawn to you. As opposed to, there's too many people in forever, everybody's doing it, and nobody wants to do it, and the economy's rising now, so nobody wants an opportunity, and, can you see the difference in the attitude? And that is errors in your thinking. You need to correct those errors. Never say there's a customer born every day. There is. There's people being born every single day. I don't know how many people, probably 50, 60,000 people born every day in Ireland, which means it's 50, 60,000 people turning 18 every day, which means it's 50, 60,000 people. Not every day, sorry, every year. 50, 60,000 new people can join for mind blown. That's the way you have to think. And if you think like that, you will have better results, guaranteed. You got to improve or correct the errors in your thinking and the errors in your inviting process. So that's what I was talking about there. Come off the phone. What did he say? What did she say? What does that mean? I said, and then correct it from the analytics of the analysis of what they said, what you said. So this is a common thing. People think you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. In other words, you could blabber anything to them, and if they're looking, they'll jump on it. That's not the case. We need to become professional. We need to get the phone call and the script and the way we approach people and the way we talk to people right. How do we do that? Practice. Make mistakes. Get better. Practice with ourselves. Look at the script. Look at how we look at training videos. Look at Andy Waring's prospecting video. How many people have watched that? How many people have watched it 10 times? Not too many, I should think. But that's what you need to be doing. You need to be training yourself. If you were going to be a medical doctor, you would study the living daylights out of the 4 chambers in the heart or whatever. I don't understand it, but you know what I mean. If you needed to know that stuff to make 100,000 a year as a doctor or 200,000 a year, you'd study the living daylights out. No difference with forever. Andy Waring, soaring manager, super successful, regarded as the expert in training and in the industry. And there's a video there that we can hit click without leaving our house to teach us how to talk to people. And only you have watched it 10 times. Can you see? Can you see what I'm talking about? You have to put the effort in. You have to put the hours in to become an expert at recruiting. So you can say the wrong thing to the right person, because you might make a bad limit and say the wrong thing, and then somebody come along and they were ready. Then somebody come along and say it a little bit better. They'll join in. So get your skill set perfected. Not perfected, because you'll never be perfect, but you can certainly get better from where you are now, right now. That's the reply you might get. Yeah, I'm looking for an opportunity, but not with you. Not with that attitude, not with that unprofessionalism, not with that tracksuit. Bottoms on in the approach me. You know, not with that face of stubble, as Eric Roy pointed out to us. You know, not with that lack of professionalism, basically. So viruses of the brain, the blame virus. Everybody's at fault except me. You know, professional blamer, blaming the upline, blaming the company. You know, there's people jumping to different companies when the problem is themselves. They didn't work on themselves. They didn't work on their skill set. They think things are going to be different over another company. Other company's probably a good company too. Probably has good products. Probably has good marketing plan. But the reasons it didn't work for you over here is going to be the same reasons as it doesn't work for you over here. Because you didn't work on yourself and your skill set and your mindset. Blaming the training. Blaming the location. Oh, it's like people in Sligo are so negative. Blaming the ingredients. Jesus, people are getting tied up in this 0.7% paraben in this or this kind of rubbish. You know what I mean? What are you focusing on that for? Focusing on the wonderful ingredients. That's no problem. Because guess what? When you start focusing on something like that, your customers will start focusing on something. You'll draw it in. It's all about attitude. It's all about, you know, responsibility. Switch from blame to responsibility. Blame the upline. No, not blame the upline. Blame me. Why wasn't I a better downline? Why wasn't I asking for the help? Why wasn't I asking the questions? Why wasn't I going to the trainings? Why wasn't I asking upline, are you coming to the training? Are you coming to Success Day? Are you going to January in January? Are you going to Eric Rory in Manchester? Whatever the case may be. Be the most positive, forward-thinking, inspirational person you can be. Inspire your upline. Don't be waiting for your upline to inspire you. You inspire your upline. Be what you want to be. Stop blaming your upline. It's your business. Your upline can do whatever they like. It's their business. You decide for yourself what you want your business to be. Good one. Pay me first, and then I'll have a better attitude. Well, when the check goes over 1,000, then I'll become positive. That's not the way it works. You got to become positive first, and get a good work ethic first, and go to the trainings first, and go to endless and countless. Watch Andy Waring countless times on the video. Make countless phone calls. Get countless people not turned off to you. That's what has to happen first. You need to put in the time and the effort and the hours. And have a better attitude when you're doing all that. And then you'll get paid. You will get paid eventually. I asked you just to be better first and work harder first. And then another virus. I would rather be lucky than good, as opposed to good than lucky. You know, a lot of people have this attitude that they can't wait. Imagine just to stroll up and Jane Leach to walk into their life, and then everything will be okay. Then we collect on her downline and she do all the work. We just do 4 cc's then for the rest of her life and sit in the Bahamas. That can happen. You know, it can. It's fairly slim chance that it could happen. I wouldn't say you have more chance of winning the lotto, but you know, it's fairly slim. And if you have that attitude and you're waiting for that superstar to come into your life, forget about it. Just forget about it. Because you want to be an attitude that you prefer to be good than lucky. That when people look at you, they'll say, he put in the work, she put in the work. She did this, she did that. She helped so many people. She was never missed a training. She was always a success day. She was always a positive attitude. She was constantly having guests at the meeting. You know what I mean? And through that attitude, she became lucky. You know, was it Jack Nicklaus or somebody? Some famous golfer like that said, the more I practice, the luckier I get. That's what happens. Luck happens when you do activity, when you have a better attitude, a better work ethic. I'd rather be lucky than earn it, or earn it than lucky. Because, see, in this attitude here, you'd rather earn it and put the work in, and then reap the rewards, then get the pin, then get the chairman's bonus check, then get the 10 grand a month, or the 5 grand a month, or the 50 grand a month, or whatever it is that you want. You often hear people who win the lotto end up depressed, end up with a drinking problem, end up with a drug problem, because they're not happy. And it's not that the money made them unhappy, but they were unhappy and they won money. Money didn't solve it. It probably made it worse, in fact, whatever unhappiness they had. It's hard to get your head around. But working for something, achieving something, doing activity makes you happy. Have you ever noticed that when you go into activity mode, that you're in better form, you're in better humor, it makes you feel good? And sometimes even when you're doing stuff and things aren't going right, people aren't turning up, or whatever the case may be, there's still some sense of, I don't know, feel-good factor about it, because you're in activity mode. And if you do that for long enough and you get the money, you get the Jane Leach money and all that, the satisfaction of that and the sense of achievement and the happiness that will bring will be way more than any lotto win or any signing up one lucky person or whatever the case may be, because you earned it and you know inside you earned it. You've learned the skills and you've developed as a person. You've become a stronger, better, more developed person by going through the hard graft or the learning curves or the negative experiences that might pop up whilst you're doing it. The old 2 bags choice, you know, a bag with $1 million or another bag with the tools to earn $1 million. Which would you prefer? Now, if you've gone for the first one, it's the wrong one. From what I just described to you, $1 million is great, but there's no satisfaction in earning it. If you get the tools to earn $1 million, guess what? You get satisfaction, you get work satisfaction, you get reward, you get everything I described there. And also, not only can you earn $1 million, but you have the tools to earn another $1 million and another $1 million and another $1 million. Because you've built up those skills. And everything you're going through right now, whereas people not turning up, whether it's been scared of the phone and making a bank of a phone call or bringing up this launch or that launch not working out, or all manner of negative things that might happen to you, along with all the other positive things. There's positive things happen to us too, but you know, these things that make life a little bit of a struggle. You are building yourself. You're building yourself as a great leader. The more of that stuff you go through, the better you will become as a leader. So when you're a soaring manager or a diamond sapphire manager or a level 2 chairman's bonus qualifier or whatever the case may be, that when somebody in your team comes to you with this problem, you know it happened to you. You dealt with it. You became bulletproof due to those experiences. And you're able to teach people and inspire people because you went through it too. And because you have the tools built up from those experiences that you had, you're able to inspire more and more and more and train more and more and more people and get more and more bags of millions of dollars. Whereas the first bag just had $1 million, you'd probably spend it, be unhappy, and have no skills or tools to make another million. Because the programming of your life changes the reality of your life. So it's so important. We always talk about it. You know, I'm working on yourself. I'm working on that programming. If you're not living the life of your dreams, there is an error in there somewhere. No question. And admitting that is very, very important. Same as any issue. Admitting it is the first problem. Identifying the error. Sometimes identifying the error is difficult. But if you ask and you keep looking and you keep investigating and going deeper and figuring it out, what is the error? What is the block that's causing me? What am I doing wrong? What am I not doing? What am I not doing right is probably in a lot of cases. But in relation to programming, figuring out the error, maybe that error leads to procrastination instead of taking action. So if there's deep things deep inside you, deep blocks, blocking you from money, maybe that causes you to procrastinate rather than take action, causes you to watch telly rather to focus on your business, rather to make a phone call. You're watching Jack Duckworth instead of Andy Weir. You know what I mean? Pushes you over here instead of over there. Makes you clean the press instead of making the phone calls. So how important is it to clear those errors? Because when they're cleared, you'll end up over here, you end up getting success because of the action that you take rather than the procrastination. So, do you have negative thinking instead of positive thinking when faced with obstacles? Do you see the opportunity in an obstacle? Do you see an opportunity? It could be a blatant other opportunity, or it could be an opportunity to learn. As I just said, every time you come across something negative, you have a situation where you can learn from, where you can get stronger, where you can get better. And when you face every obstacle with that attitude, every single time, you're just gonna become a different person. You're just gonna become a way more successful person in your business, in your life, in everything. So what are the obstacles you're facing right now? And what is your attitude towards them? Are you going to learn from them? Are you going to become stronger from them? Are you going to realize that this is going to teach me and help me inspire more people? If I face these obstacles, I overcome these obstacles, but I dealt with them. And I didn't let them get me down. And I just pushed them aside and went on forward to where I was going. So, when you're upset with something in your program told you you're supposed to be upset. You know, we were taught all this when we were younger. And some people don't get upset in the exact same situation. Why is that? It's because of our programming. It's because of the way we were taught to react to those things. Their program said, this isn't a problem. This is a situation I can learn from. This is a situation I can help more people from. You know, how many here grew up in a blue-collar household? Am I the only one? Blue-collar, by the way, is people who... white-collar is off... Huh? People who work for a living, who use their hands, who make things, who physically work, who... give me more examples.
Shopkeeper?
Farmer, carpenter, fisherman, builder, Anybody who's not in a suit really is. Suit is white collar, office workers, that kind of thing. Did anybody grow up in an entrepreneurial household? You? Yeah? One? Anybody else? Business in their family, in their parents? No? One person, not too many. So most of us are in this category. So that's the way we think. We don't think entrepreneurial. That's the way we're programmed. So in order to be entrepreneurial, we have to change that way of thinking. We have to change that way of programming. Otherwise, we'll never be successful forever. Somebody who owns a pub, for instance, that's a business, right? So he's entrepreneurial and he's thinking, how can I get more people into my pub? Do I have bands? Do I have raffles? Do I have ladies' nights? Do I have happy hour? Do I have food? Do I put out free crisps? That's the way the entrepreneur thinks. How can I get more people, more profit, more customers, more repeat customers? That's entrepreneurial thinking. Most of us, only one person in the room, grew up in that type of environment. So we have a problem with our programming. So we need to change that. And we need to work on that. And we need to force our programming to a different level. Otherwise, we won't be successful. Entrepreneurs know that they're going to have problems before they get success. They're going to know they're going to have to deal with problems. Whereas people who don't have entrepreneurial programming, when they get a program, they go, doesn't work. No, give up. You see? It's where you have to get strong in your mind, strong in your mindset and your programming. So we've all admitted it, none of us, bar Trish, came up with that programming. So we have to be aware of that and we have to change that programming and work on it and think about it, brainstorm, all that kind of stuff. And it can affect you either way. You could have grown up in a blue-collar household and you say, let's say your dad was, a builder. He came in every day soaking wet from the rain and suffered with a sore back from all the lifting. And you're looking at that and saying, that's never going to happen to me. That's never, ever going to happen to me. And I can switch you to that mindset. Louise's brother is a builder. And he said, he's a little young fella, and the young fellas are mad to help him or whatever. And he reckons, get their hands dirty at all. That's it. Game over. They'll be dirty for the rest of their lives. And that's his attitude. But they love the building and he's afraid of that, So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Or you could have somebody in your house that, let's say, owned a pub and had headaches and overheads and all this kind of stuff, and it drive you clean away from entrepreneurial. Do you know what I mean? So it can affect you either way. But what way is it going to affect you? That's what you have to think about. Your programming affects your thinking. So the programming is so important. Because if programming affects your thinking affects your actions, and your actions will affect your results. So the programming is so important to get right. The growth of your tree. Plant the seed long enough. Information isn't the be-all and end-all. Activity is. I mentioned we should be watching Andy Waring 10 times, but there's no point in watching Andy Waring 10, 20 times and not putting it into action, not going into activity mode. That's where you learn most, in activity mode. I don't know if I said this last week, but I said it to somebody recently. We went to Templemore to train to be a guard, right? And in my system, or my time, what we did is we went in for 6 months and we studied all the law, all the legal, all the practical sort of side of things or whatever, and we studied it and we learned it and there was somebody teaching us and all this kind of stuff. We did it for 6 months. And then we went out to a guard station and we were student guards and we walked, went around with patrol cars, everything. We were real guards, right? Watched them, helped them. If there was an arrest we made, we helped them, all that kind of stuff. We dealt with situations. We didn't have powers, but we were in there doing the stuff. Where do you think we learned most? On the ground, doing the stuff, doing the arrests, into the situations, getting that hostile situation or not hostile situation or delicate situation, dealing with a family member or of a victim or whatever the situation was. Negative, most of them were negative in the guards, but do you know what I mean? Dealing with the situation. That's where we learned. Yes, it was important to do the 6 months in the war, absolutely. You can't just throw somebody into the deep end, but 6 months on the job. It's the same with forever. Watch Andy Waring 10, 15, 20 times, but go out and do what he says to do. Try and practice theory, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And Andy Waring is a brilliant trainer. It's brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant training. And you learn a lot from it. But you learn nothing until you do it. Because you're going to get the different types of reactions. And every time you get a different reaction, you learn how to deal with that reaction. You make a bag with that reaction and you get better the next time. And that's where you learn. So you have to get into activity. Activity grows roots, makes you more stable because you've gained more knowledge by doing the activity. And you can learn at the same time and feed your mind. You know, yes, watch Andy Waring 3 or 4 times, then do some activity. Watch another time, do activity. Watch another time, do activity. Activity, to watch it again, do activity. Eventually you won't have to watch it anymore. The activity will be happening so much, you'll be so good at it, you won't need it. You won't need that training. You'll be doing some other training. And feeding your mind all the time. Very important for that to be happening in the background, because every day you need to be bulletproofing your mind, bulletproofing your psyche, bulletproofing your abilities, and so that nothing bothers you. And you need to have people talking to you, whether it be your upline, whether it be Les Brown, Tony Robbins, whether it be your upline's upline, whether it be your mentor, whoever it is that's positively affecting you and telling you that you can do this. And if you have somebody negative in your life, you need to be avoiding that person, like the plague. Feed your mind every single day and get into activity. And by watching these things, listening to these things, reading Les Brown's Moments of Inspiration every day on Facebook, on his newsfeed, whatever the case is, this is what reminds you to take action. You know, you've all been at Success Day and you get this feeling, right, when I get down the road, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. That's what I'm talking about. And you need to do this other stuff at home, because Marion Fitzgerald can't be there in your living room every day telling you that she earned $155,000 in car plan alone. You need to be listening to people. There's a machine, every one of you have one of those machines, you phones, that you can watch Jane Leach inspire you, or Les Brown, or Tony Robbins, or Jim Rohn, or Eric Warren, or Emma Cooper, or whoever the hell inspires you. It doesn't even have to be in forever. It doesn't have to be in network marketing. It can be just your man, Nick Novichek, or whatever you call him, with no arms and no legs. And he's swimming and he's thinking, if he can do it, I can do it. Getting inspired by these people. Katie Purdy, world champion, whatever she is, skier, no legs. You know, it can be that kind of thing. Whatever inspires you, whatever makes you kick on. Activity kills all. Ogmandino, anybody ever hear of him? He wrote a book called The Greatest Salesman of the World. I will form good habits and I will become their slave. You're going to be product of your habits one way or the other. They're going to be good habits or bad habits. So if you have the habit of going to the press every night and eating 6 biscuits, the product of that is you're going to gain pounds and gain pounds and gain pounds. You're going to be the product of that bad habit. Whereas if you have a product of going for a 30-minute walk every day, It's going to shed off an odd pound here or there, keep you in good shape, or keep your mind free, keep the fresh air flowing, keep your endorphins moving. In the habit of making 5 phone calls a day. Habit, consistency, every single day. Is that a good habit or a bad habit? It's a good habit. What is the product of doing 5 phone calls every day? 1, you get better phone calls. 2, you get a ratio of yeses. People join your business. And you're feeling better because you're doing something. We're talking about this already. You just feel better when you're in activity mode. Even if things aren't going right now, it feels good at the time doing it. You're in activity mode. You feel good. You feel you're doing something for your business. You feel like a business person. It might be next week or 3 months' time before you see the results of that activity, because it doesn't always happen instantly. But consistency, the compound effect of good habits, is incredible. And sometimes it takes 3 years for the compound effect to kick in, or will kick in. It will. Have you ever watched or read Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect? Brilliant. 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 It's just a decision. It's nothing to do with your DNA, your how your culture, or anything like that. It's absolutely nothing to do with that. It's about a decision that I'm going to take my business seriously. I'm going to go pro. I'm going to be a network marketing professional. I'm going to treat this seriously. The serious people in this business do 5 phone calls a day. I'm going to do 5 phone calls a day. The serious people in this business. Hey, yeah, how's it going? Good. Some of these guests, is it? Yeah, I'm going to take my business seriously. I'm going to go pro. I'm going to make the decision to get good habits. I'm going to make the decision to make my phone calls. I'm going to make my decision to watch Andy Waring. I'm going to make the decision to go to my trainings, to my success days, to Jan Rue, to whoever things are being recommended by my upline and by the company. I'm going to make the decision that I'm going to read Eric Worre's book Go Pro every 6 months. I'm going to make the decision to get organized in my business. I'm going to schedule my time. I'm going to make the decision to watch positive things rather than watching silly television programs. There's lots of good television programs, there's lots of silly ones that we're watching too. Versus, I'm going to hope to get lucky. So if you bring every night to Jane Beach, so that's how you go to my business. And I said the beach. It's just a decision. I'm going to be constantly learning, always growing and becoming more. What a decision that is. I'm going to get better every single day. I am going to become a better person. I'm going to become a better husband, wife, father, friend. I'm going to become a better network marketer. I'm going to be a better forever business owner. I'm going to represent the company better. I'm going to build a bigger team. I'm going to help more people. I'm going to inspire more people. It's just a decision. You got that inside you. Can you make that decision? Absolutely you can. First, I think I'll just look at some cards. You know, it's all the things that we do in this business are easy to do. All the things we should do are easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. It's a lot easier to sit down and get immersed in the scutter of extenders. It so is. Than to challenge yourself and get yourself outside your comfort zone and pick up the phone and ring that scary person. And become a better person, become a stronger person, become a more developed person because you made that phone call, you made those mistakes, and you came across them challenges. Successful people are always learning, growing, learning new skills, developing themselves, constantly working on themselves every single day. You gotta have faith that the plant will grow. Some of you are in the business longer than others, some of you not so. Some of you have certain levels of success, some of you don't have, but you've got to have faith that the plant will grow. That if I work on myself and I get consistency into my business and I do it every day, that the plant will grow. If I correct the things I'm doing wrong and do it more consistently and get things right, more correct, and change the little things that we're doing, analysing the things, working on myself, doing the activity consistently, the plant will eventually grow. Anybody ever hear the story of the Chinese bamboo tree? You set the seed and you water it every day and you tend to it every day, and 5 years before anything appears out of the ground. And then when it does, within 90 days it's like 25 feet tall. So there's a lot of stuff to happen there, a lot of stuff, a lot of nurturing, a lot of tending, a lot of belief. Yeah, absolutely. Good point, Trish. Because it'd be so easy after 3 years of watering and seeing absolutely nothing for you to give up and not stop watering it and stop nurturing it, stop feeding it. But the person that grows that has faith that it's going to grow, that if they keep doing that and keep doing that, it's going to work. And sometimes when it starts working, it just gets into momentum and it kicks on and you don't know what hits you. And then you get kicking into momentum. Plant the seed, water the plant, feed the plant. Nothing for ages, and the tiny plant starts to grow. And finally, somebody joins your business. And then they die. Plant again, tend again, and water again, and feed the plant in ages. But, you know, some of them grow. And that's what we have to focus on. That's the faith we need to have. Taking action and having faith that the action is going to help you get a result. This is law of attraction stuff. Know what you want, have absolutely no doubt that it's going to come, and then take the action and trust the process. So a root system is very important. You know, when we've no entrepreneurial background, we don't have any root system there. So it's a belief thing, you know. You know, some stable thing. If our father and our mother were businessmen and we kind of seen them, the pitfalls growing up, and we kind of got that into our system over time, you know, that's a good root system. So some of us don't have that root system. Only one of us. No sales background, no people skills. You know, grew up all your life shy, not able to talk to anybody, no confidence. That was me, by the way. That was totally me. It might take a bit longer for the plant to pop its head out of the ground in them cases because the root system has to grow. That's why so many of us have to work and work and work hard and work hard to get this going, to work on themselves that much more than the person who was kind of maybe born into it. You know, the superstars that you see joining in forever. And maybe they just had that little bit of a root system before they started. Most people don't. Most people in this room don't. It just takes that little bit longer. Guess what? It's way more satisfying when the plan appears then. Famously, the plant that was planted on the same day as you grow quicker. Do you ever see somebody going across the stage for manager and you know they joined the same day you did? Or maybe after you? You can let that get to you. But you can't, because it'll just drive you into the ground. It'll affect your self-esteem. You've got to get inspired by that person and realize you're on your journey. You possibly... I'd say a good example is Louise. Louise became manager in 14 weeks. Which was quite quick. Very quick, in fact. Other people do it quicker. But you know what? She landed at manager and she had no clue what she was doing. She didn't. She literally didn't have a clue. Because she'd done it too quick. The person that takes 2 years to be manager has a much more learning under the belt. And that's inspiring in itself. You know, to know that is, and if you're not getting that success straight away, that you're just building a stronger foundation than the weak Lyons. It's pretty inspiring, isn't it? It just came to me there. But yeah, it's absolutely true. You're okay, maybe you're not making as many mistakes as quick because you're probably not doing the activity, but you've probably gone to way more training. You've gone to way more things. You've seen more things. You've seen other people doing this. You've learned this bit and that bit. And you've had those few extra, negative situations than maybe somebody who did it quicker. So therefore, when you become manager, you're in a stronger position. It's all of mindset. It's not the way you just look at something and the way you decide what is the situation. And if you look at that, if you look at it that way, it's more empowering towards yourself, isn't it? They might have a better root system, yeah, I said that. But you can still go as high as anybody once you get your root system in place. Have faith. This is very, very important. Have faith that it's going to work. If you think it's not going to work, it won't work. Simple as that. You've told the universe it's not going to work, and it's not going to work. You put in your order for failure, and it's going to come back to you. You must have faith. You must believe. I will continue to plant. I will continue to water. I will continue to feed and nurture. And I will continue to give sunlight. Some people grow quicker because they start with belief. They have this 100% belief. Again, it can be due with their root system. It can be due with the way they were brought up, that their father was telling them, you can do this since they were 2 years of age. By the way, if your kids keep doing that, keep telling them that all day long, because this is what's going to happen later on. They're going to have that belief system. So maybe they started with belief. So you need to believe in yourself. You can do it. Any questions?
That's great, Jason. Thank you.
No bother at all. Just